Welcome to my channel. This video is about measurements, unit conversions, and shows an easy way how to resize recipes according to your needs. When dealing with recipes, we are confronted with certain measurements that we need to be familiar with. Especially in soap making, the exact measurements are required in order for the ingredients to interact with each other and become soap. In cooking, you can eyeball and get away with it. But in soap making, if you have too much lye in your recipe, it can be irritating for your skin. Let's have a closer look at the measurements that we need to know. The weight or mass of something is measured in grams or ounces, depending on where you are located. The most common way to measure weight for our purposes is with a scale. The scale usually has both units, grams and ounces, and I will tell you more about it in just a moment. Using measuring spoons is another possibility, but this type of measurement is not exact enough for soap making. You can use it to measure out fragrances, for example, just like with a pipette that has markings on the sides if you're dealing with very small quantities. There are also measuring cups with markings for ounces and grams. Temperature is measured in Celsius or Fahrenheit. We have to deal with temperatures in soap making to determine when to add a lye solution to the oils, for example. An infrared thermometer is a very practical way to measure temperature without coming in direct contact with the ingredients, just by pointing on it. You can also switch from Celsius to Fahrenheit very easily, as you can see here. If you grew up in the US, of course, you are familiar with the Imperial system. Everyone else on the planet uses the metric system. And for a good reason. It is very practical and easy to understand. A base unit can be multiplied by moving it to the left or divided by moving it to the right. An example of a base unit is grams for weight or mass, liters for volume, and meters for length. The first marking to the left shows 10 times the base unit. Moving on to hecto, meaning 100 times the base unit, and kilo, meaning 1000 times the base unit. Moving over to the right side, we have the markings of the smaller units with deci, meaning a tenth of a base unit, centi means 100th of the base unit, and milli meaning 1000th part of the base unit. In practical examples, you can see that a kilogram means 1000 grams. Or on the complete opposite side of the scale, a milligram means 1,000th of a gram. You probably have seen this on nutritional labels, like for example vitamin labels. A milliliter means 1,000th of a liter, often used in medicine for very small dosages like injections. Or another example is centimeter, 100th part of a meter. I just wanted to show you how easy this system is based on this diagram. The Imperial system, on the other hand, is more difficult or irregular, you could say. For length, there are inches. 12 inches are 1 foot. 3 feet is 1 yard. 1,760 yards are a mile. 16 ounces are 1 pound, and 2,000 pounds are a ton. The measurement for volume starts with fluid ounces. 8 fluid ounces are a cup, 2 cups are a pint, 2 pints are a quart, and 4 quarts are a gallon. More difficult to memorize, in my opinion. Of course, if you grew up using one system, it is a bit challenging to try to change, and I'm not saying you have to. But considering that 1 gram is 0.035274 ounces, you can easily understand that it is easier and far more precise to use grams when making soap. You will find many soap recipes in grams for the very same reason. Now the question, how do I convert units? I'm so glad you asked. Here's a very easy way to do it. If you have a smartphone, you can download the free app called Unit Converter. There are many other apps to convert units, by the way. Choose the measurement, in our case it's mass. Then choose the unit you want to convert. Let's say we want to convert grams into US ounces. You type in your amount, 50 grams, and we get the result in US ounces. Or let's say we want to do it the other way around, US ounces into grams. You type in the ounces you want to convert, let's say 5, and you get your grams. Same applies for other units like, for example, volume or length or temperature. Or let's say you are on a desktop. You type in rapidtables.com, you go onto their site, then you choose conversion. In our case, let's say we want to go for weight. And then you have different options here, ounces on the very bottom. Let's say we want to convert 3 ounces. Press convert and then you have the same amount in different kind of units. You can reset. Let's say we want to go for grams, 300 grams, convert, and then you have ounces, pounds, and so forth. You can reset and go ahead. Now another important point, how to resize a recipe yield to suit your personal needs. Because let's say you want to make a bigger quantity than the one described in a specific recipe, or you just need a small quantity. Resizing a soap recipe should always be done with the soap calculator. If you have a smartphone, you can download the Brambleberry Light Calculator app or check their free calculator on their website brambleberry.com. You can save your soap recipes inside this app. When you need to resize, you just choose the specific recipe. This one here, for example, is my basic one. And then type in the desired yield. It will automatically resize all ingredients with the correct relation of water and lye. How to resize skincare recipes. First of all, we need to determine the percentage of each individual ingredient used in that recipe. Let's say your recipe calls for 3 ingredients: shea butter, coconut oil, and beeswax. All combined is our total yield. But how do we find out the exact percentage of each ingredient? To determine this, we are going to grab the recipe and first of all write down all ingredients and their respective measurements or weight. Then we add them all up. In this case, our yield is 240. This is our 100%. Next, we need to calculate how much 1% is. So we divide 240 by 100 and get 2.4. This is our 1%. From here, we just divide each amount of each ingredient by 1%, meaning by 2.4. And we get the percentage of each ingredient. If you add up everything, you get a 100%. Now, these percentages can be converted in any size, large or even very small. And this works for all units on the same principle, grams or ounces. Let's say you want to make a yield of 700 grams. 700 grams in this case is your new 100%. Again, we determine 1% of 700, which is obviously 7. Now we multiply the number 7 with the percent of each ingredient and we get the following results. Let's check and add everything up. Perfect, we get 700 grams. I hope you found this video helpful. If you're interested in other soap related videos, check out the playlist on the screen where you can find a lot of other videos. I hope to see you around here very soon. In the meantime, I wish you a wonderful day. Bye bye!